Adam, you are the man in charge of these top six clubs. Who are you getting in January? Let's start at the top. Let's start with Inter.
Well, with Inter, they haven't got the leakiest defence, but it's clear to see that they've got an ageing defence and they need to get some reinforcements in that area. The key targets for me would be Omar Soule, who's at Udinese, or if they can get their hands on him, Mario Gila.
Nice. Let's move on to their cross-city rivals, Milan.
Milan, it's fair to say, are having a better season and they are just almost on the cusp of potentially getting a Scudetto, but they need a bigger threat up top and I think they need a talismanic striker. I would go for Giacomo Raspadori, or alternatively, if they can get their hands on Gianluca Scamacca, that could be the final piece in the jigsaw.
I like it. Let's continue, and we're moving on next to Napoli.
Well, Napoli have a lot of talent, it's fair to say, but in the one area that I feel that they just need a bit more dynamism is in that midfield. As yourself, I would go with Kobe Mino if he is available, but I would also try and get my hands on Edison from Atalanta. I think he would offer that little bit of an attacking threat that might add a bit more goals from that midfield.
Let's move on down, continuing in the south, Roma.
And much like yourself, they desperately need more goals up top. And that's the main thing. If you look across all of those top six, they're the team that have scored the least amount of goals with 16 as it currently stands. Now, I would be bold here, Rory, and I would target Federico Chiesa if you can get your hands on him. However, failing that, there's a certain striker not so far from Chiesa called Joshua Zirkzee, currently at Man United. If they can get their hands on him, I think he would complement Gasperini and that system at Roma.
Absolutely love that. Let's move on to Juve.
Juventus, it's fair to say, need reinforcements across the pitch. But for me, the one area that could give them a bit more balance would be a sort of defensive, more tackling midfielder. So for me, I would target Matteo Guendouzi, who's having a fantastic season with Lazio. Or alternatively, if they can get their hands on him, Manuel Ugarte, because I feel he could be the progressive kind of style of midfielder that could help them out.
Nice. And last but not least, Bologna.
Yeah, Bologna are having a great season under a certain Vincenzo Italiano. But one of the main things that we always talk about on this podcast is the lack of a striker. And for me, there's so many good strikers in Serie A, including Hellas Verona. And there's two that you could choose from. One being Giovanni, who's having a fantastic season, but his partner, Gift Orban, is also equally adept. So I think either of those two could be the final jigsaw for Bologna.